Yo, yo, it's your boy Pi. We're live right now. We are about 1 minute to 9, or just off 9 o'clock now. Hope there's going to be a few people starting to turn up pretty soon, and we'll get cracking with this. Until then, I'm just gonna drop a couple of beats, and hopefully you guys will stay tuned and stay live, stay ready for this Beatbox Workshop, which I'm about to drop for you. Yo. So I can see there's a couple of you starting to join now. This is my first Beatbox Workshop live streaming through YouTube and Instagram. We're going to get started in just a minute. I'm just going to give a few more people a little chance to join us, and hopefully we'll have a good little party going by the time we get started. I'm going to keep dropping some beats for a little while yet, though. Okay. So I'm going to get started. We've got a few people starting to tune in now. Real important thing, let me know if you can't hear anything. I'm guessing the guys on Instagram can. I'm just going to type a message for YouTube, make sure you guys can see it. Cool. So my name's Pi. I'm a beatboxer. I've been beatboxing for over 20 years now. So I've got a lot of experience. I'm going to run through some real basics to start with. So we're going to probably spend the first half an hour or so just like running through some real basic drums, some basic scratches, some different things like that. And then hopefully after that, I'll turn it over to some questions. And if you guys have got any particular questions for me, like any like techniques, or any like sort of general styles or ways of doing things, ways of recording things, ways of developing your own style, you'll be really welcome to ask those questions. And I'll just, as long as those questions keep coming in, for maybe like half an hour or so, I'll be answering them. So yeah, let's get started with some real basic drums. So the way that I normally teach, and then if you guys can join in with those words, we'll slowly turn them into beats. So one really important thing is that I normally do this workshop in front of a live audience. Obviously, that's not possible at the moment. But yeah, I'm really hoping that you guys can still get involved and still join in. So if I do something, here's some just really quick hand signals. I'll start doing something and pretty much I want you guys to join in. And then if I want you to keep time, I'll be doing that. And maybe I'll stop so you guys can do it on your own. And then we'll see how we're getting on. So the first words which I teach people are boots and cats. If you're a beatboxer, you know this real well. So we start with boots, cats, boots, cats. So you guys got to join in at home. We're going to go boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, cats. And this is where you guys keep doing the beat, even though I'm not. Nice. Okay, cool. So hopefully you guys get that one. Normally when I do that one live, that one gets done pretty much straight away. People get that real quick. But like if there's any questions about what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, you're welcome to type them in and I'll answer them as quick as I can. So next thing after boots and cats is we're going to emphasize the B's at the start of the boots, and we're going to emphasize the C's at the start of the cats, and we're going to start to hear some drums in there. So we go boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, cats. This is where you guys keep doing it. Yeah, you following that finger? Nice. Cool. All right. And then one last part to this. We're going to drop the A in the middle of the cats and the O in the middle of the boots. So it's going to sound, instead of boots, cats, it's going to be boots, yeah, keep doing it. Focus on emphasizing those B's, emphasizing those C's, and trying to get rid of those vowels. You don't want any O's, you don't want any R's. I just want to hear. Cool. I'm not seeing any questions from anyone, so hopefully you guys have got that. You guys really are welcome to stop me at any time. There's no point me doing this if you guys aren't following it. So definitely just like type something in the messages, and I'll keep an eye out on it. And we've got our first question. So if you want to take a breath in between, you can do something like, for now, we're just going to do something like, so taking a breath in between them. But in a minute, I'll give you some proper technique, and we'll show you how to do the breathing a little bit more subtly as part of the music. So that's your real basic drums. There's one more drum. In fact, before we do that, I want to show you just exactly what you've learned already. So we've got, we're going to break down what we've got. We've got boots and cats. So the B from the boots is a kick drum. So that's the sort of big round drum which you get on the floor, which you play with your foot. So that just goes. So let's get you guys doing that one as well, in time with the fist. Nice. So hopefully you've got that one. That one's a real nice and simple one. And that one just gives you like a nice little techno beat, like a. Then the next drum in there is the C from the cats. So that's what's called a rim shot. So that's kind of like the rim around the edge of the drum, the kind of metal bit. So that goes. So let's try and get you guys doing that with me. And without me. Beautiful. All right. So there is one more drum that's hidden in there, and that is the TS at the end of the boots and at the end of the cats. And that's the hi-hats. That's the sort of cymbal which goes up and down like that. And there's two types of hi-hat. And normally through most of this workshop, I don't really mind which one you're doing. You can express yourself, do whatever is comfortable for you. But for now, we're just going to make sure that you've got both of them. The first one is a closed hi-hat. That is done without the S, so that's just. The second one is an open hi-hat. So you can see that one's done with the S. So let's look at the difference between them. So let's see if you guys can do that with me. So. You guys on your own? Beautiful. Right, hopefully you guys are all getting that. Again, drop me messages. I know there's more people joining all the time. So drop me messages if there's things which I'm saying which you're not getting. Really happy to answer individual questions. But if I don't get a message, I'll assume everyone's good. So we'll move on to the next thing. So all we're going to do is we're going to go back to what we were doing before, which is boots and cats. But this time I want you guys to be thinking about the individual drums which you're using. And some people get this straight away and they're like, why are you going back and doing this again? And for some people, this is really difficult for some reason, completely discombobulates them that they're doing the same thing, but now they're having to think about something different. So let's just try it one time, because it's quite important that you're thinking about drums rather than words. So. So hopefully you guys can see that that's the same thing we're doing before. We're going to start real slow and we're going to speed up and I'm going to see how long you guys can keep up with it for, all right? Very good, anyone who managed to keep up going to the end. It's pretty rare that I come across people who can do that straight off the bat, but I'm looking at Instagram, I'm seeing a few people who have maybe done a bit of beatboxing before. Big up to man, Beatbox Tangent, big up to Beat Technique in the place. And so I've got one more basic drum, which I want to show you guys before we move on and start talking about breathing and some other techniques. And this is just a really basic snare drum. Again, we're going to start with a word which hopefully you guys already know, and that word is push. Push. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to emphasize the consonant at the start, and we're going to drop the vowel in the middle. So we're going to start with the basic word. So with me, push, 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 push. And again, hopefully this is real straightforward for you guys, and you've already got this because it's a single word. Then the next thing we're going to do is emphasize that P at the start. So same thing we did before. Push, 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 push. See you guys doing it? Nice, okay. And last thing we're going to do is, again, we're going to drop the vowel in the middle. So all we're left with is Excellent. You guys? Cool. So again, this is a place where people start to get unstuck a little bit when I do it live in front of classes. So if you've got any questions, type them in. I know there's a few people joining all the time, so if you weren't listening before, you're really welcome to type in questions and I'll stop and I'll try to answer them. But if I don't get any questions, which I don't think I have, then we're going to move on and we're going to try and put that push, that snare drum, we're going to put that in with the beat that we had before. So we start with the boots and the cats, but instead of the C, which we had in the middle, we're going to take that out and we're going to put in that nice snare drum. So again, we're going to start really slow and we're going to see how long you guys can keep up for. So. So again, well done to anyone who managed to keep up with that. That's your basic drums right there. And I think, yeah, just before we move on, I'll do a little bit of call and response with you guys. So I'm just going to do a beat and you guys do your best to do it back to me. Obviously, I can't hear it. So if you want to do something completely different, that's up to you. I fully encourage creativity in my classes. But yeah, let's just have a little bit of a mess around. So I'll start with a simple, with something like... Okay, cool. Hopefully you guys are either copying what I was doing or coming up with your own sounds yourselves and all having a little bit of fun. So yeah, there was a question that was asked earlier about breathing and how do you breathe and beatbox at the same time? A really common question that I get asked. And basically, big up to Whimsical Pictures. Hopefully I can keep you going with the next part of the workshop. But yeah, basically there's noises which you can make, which kind of give you drum sounds as you breathe in. So a real basic one might be an in-breath. And so the Fat Boys was a group in the 80s who sort of popularized beatboxing. And they had a track which went like this. And that's a really nice one to do in workshops because it's really simple. You guys can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm just going, but I'm using that as part of the beat. And you can see that I'm sort of breathing in and out with that at the same time. So let's see if we can get you guys doing that Fat Boys beat. So it starts real simple. It goes, so that's just the kick that we had before. And then, so that's in, out, in. So let's try that. Okay, cool. So now you try it with me. Cool. So hopefully you guys are starting to get that. If you're not, then let's slow it down a little bit. Because I really want you guys to follow this. This is like a really nice little beat to be able to take away. So let's just slow it right down. Cool. So the next part of it is a snare, and let's start this one real slow, just like we did before. So the snare is the push from earlier. So if you've got a nice tight, that's great. If not, then we've just got a or a push, and then we're gonna try and put it in with the breathing as well. So it might be like a. Or if you've not got it quite so tight, it might sound a little bit more like a push, 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 push. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put those two together. So we're going to start with a. So hopefully you guys are following that. That's kind of like a nice technique to start you off with. Hopefully you guys are following along. Again, if you're not, you're really welcome to type in a comment and let me know if you've got any particular questions. Really happy to hear them. But if you are following that, or even if you're not following that, you kind of want to know what the next step is anyway. I'm just gonna take it on one more step. So this is the inward snare, and it's basically it's kind of just gives you an inward sound, and it's also like a really fat beat to throw in as well. So you got like a. And the way you start with that is you basically, what we were doing earlier with the boots and the cats is you're doing a C, which is like a. So hopefully that was pretty straightforward for all of you guys. And we're basically going to do the same thing, but inwards. So it sounds like. And a lot of people kind of struggle with that and don't really get it. And the secret is to kind of explain it biologically with this one. So what you're doing when you're making that first C noise, is you're putting the back of your tongue to the top of your throat. You're building up pressure in your lungs, and then you're pulling your tongue down to release the air. So try just doing that really slowly. Just one at a time. So just push that tongue to the top of your mouth, build up that pressure, and then pull the tongue down to release. And that's exactly what you're doing before. But now you know how you're doing it. So we're doing the same thing this time, but we're going to put the tongue to the back of the throat. But this time we're going to build up the pressure by trying to breathe inwards, and it's that tongue that's going to stop you breathing inwards. And then when you pull the tongue down, you get a rush of air into your lungs, and that's what gives you the noise that you're after. So let's try that. Just give you guys a couple of minutes to have a think about it and have a little play with the noise. And then if you guys are happy with that, then maybe we can try and put it into a beat. So it might be like. Has anyone got any questions about that one? Because that one's quite a tricky one. That was not one that everyone gets straight away. Okay. No questions so far as I can see. So yeah, I'm gonna keep rolling on, and we're gonna try something different. The next one, which I want to try and get for you guys, is kind of a bass line. So this is like a real classic. This is what a lot of people who get into beatboxing sort of get into it for. They hear a beatboxer doing some amazing bass noise on stage, and that's kind of what inspires them to get involved in it. So hopefully this will inspire some of you guys to go away and practice, and to level up and improve your drums and improve your bass noises, and soon you'll be the guys teaching the workshops. So a real simple way to start with the bass is kind of like to sing a note, but maybe with like a V or a Z. So I might do something like a so that's like a V or the Z. So hopefully you guys can kind of follow that. That one's a pretty straightforward one. It's kind of most people can kind of hold the tune, and if you can't, it doesn't matter all that much because we're gonna teach you some other stuff anyway. But that's just like a really quick bass to teach you. Yeah, there's the other one which I want to show you. So a lot of the time, I get women in my classes or girls complaining that they can't get their voice low enough to do that bass and they want something else. So a really nice one for that is a sort of lip bass, because that doesn't use any vocal cords at all. That's completely gender neutral. Anyone can do it the same way. Okay. I've got a question from Whimsical Pictures saying, what are some techniques you can use so you don't get lightheaded? I mean, what mostly gets you lightheaded, it's different for different people, I suppose, is breathing in and out quite fast. So to some extent, it's sort of about building lung capacity and learning how to use smaller amounts of breath with your outward and inward noises. So that kind of lets you breathe a little bit more naturally. So if I take a deep breath in, so I wasn't breathing in at all until the end there, and you can kind of imagine that if I'm going I'm kind of like breathing out my whole lungs and in my whole lungs all the time, that's going to get you quite lightheaded. Whereas if you can get it a little bit more controlled, then you could get a little bit longer to breathe out and a little bit longer to breathe in, and that kind of stops you from getting so dizzy. I hope that makes sense. Yes, I was going to show you a good lip bass. So the way to start doing a lip bass is maybe if you imagine you've had like a long day at work, or perhaps if you sort of go back to before the coronavirus, if you imagine back in those halcyon days, if you'd had a long day at work and maybe you'd missed the bus and it's raining and you drop your keys and you can't get into your house, and finally you manage to get in and you sit down on the sofa and you go. So I think probably most of you can give me a. So if we start with that noise, let's get everyone doing it. So yeah, the next thing to do with that is to kind of tighten your lips a little bit, and that helps to control it. So instead of just going, you can just smile a little bit, and that helps to tighten your lips. Or you can loosen your lips a little bit, and that helps you to get like a lower bass, like a. So you can get like a. So that's just something you can do with that lip bass if you want to have a little bit of fun with it. But yeah, there's loads of different stuff you can do. I'm all about creativity. If you guys want to go and do something completely different, then that's fantastic. I've completely done my job. So I'm going to do a little bit of call and response. I'm going to do a beat, and you guys can do something like it or the same thing or whatever sort of you feel like. And it's going to go like this. I'm going to throw some basses in this time as well. So. Cool. So hopefully that's giving you guys a little bit of practice, some ideas of what you can do with the noises that I've taught you so far, and just kind of throwing some ideas around. What are we doing next? Yes, scratches. Okay. So somebody give me a word, any word. Someone typey. Ooh. Is anyone paying attention? All right. Well, I'm going to pick a word myself then. Paying attention. Paying attention. So it's basically what a scratch is if you imagine a DJ's got a record and they're sort of switching it backwards and forwards across the needle. Then if you've got like a vocal sample, we've got a couple of words coming in. COVID. COVID. That's a real nice word. Thank you very much for that one. And state, I think. State. And what we're doing is we're imagining we've got a record with that word on it, so the word COVID, for example, and it's going backwards and forwards over the needle, and that's how we're getting that sort of scratch noise. But then obviously the next question is, how on earth do you do that as a beatboxer with just your vocal cords? So we're going to start with words which hopefully you guys know. We're going to start with the word Eric, which is just like the name, and we're going to just start by saying that 3 times. Eric, 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 Eric. And again, hopefully you guys are pretty much getting this because it's just the word Eric and you all know how to do it. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to drop that C at the end of the word Eric. So we're just left with Eric, 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 Eric. And again, this is normally pretty straightforward when I'm doing this live. People pretty much get this straight away. So the last thing we're gonna add to that is as the record slows down, the pitch drops. So air. As you pull it back, it speeds up. So let's try that. Air, air, air. So hopefully you guys are following that. Let's try it one more time. Air, air, air. Okay, nice. So there's a few different variations you can do with it. So maybe we've been using a sort of E and an I for your vowels. So that's a every. But you can use different vowels as well. So maybe we could try an irit, arit, erit, irit, arit, erit, irit, arit, erit. So let's try that. Irit, arit, erit. If you've got a sort of falsetto, or if you've got like a high voice, you can get it up here. And if you've not, then you can just get it down here. So try that out. And then one more thing to try is the sort of connecting consonant in the middle. We've been using an R in the middle of Eric. But you could use something like a W or a Z or a V. So let's try Iwit as it Eric. Iwit as it Eric. Iwit as it Eric. Iwit as it Eric. Is it Eric? And you can just mess about doing different combinations. The secret to what I was doing earlier, so we had COVID, for example, is I'm just starting to use that that word. So I'm taking the first syllable from the word COVID, and I'm saying it. And then when I get to a nice vowel like an O or a nice connecting consonant like a V, COVID, I'm just playing over that and coming backwards and forwards on it, and you kind of start to get a hang of it. So that is vocal scratching. That's if you've got a word, but there's also drum scratches. So this is like a real classic one. At the start of like a hip hop show, the DJ steps up and he goes, and that's basically he's scratching over a kick drum. So that's the B from the boots that we did earlier. But when you scratch it, it goes. And for me, the easiest way to teach this is if you imagine the words DVD. So, and then you just got to put your diaphragm into it and try and get some power out of it. So we're going to go, yeah. So with me, yeah. Cool. So hopefully you guys are kind of following what I'm saying. Again, any questions about what I've done so far in the class, really happy to take questions. And I think probably in terms of like technical stuff, we'll call it a day there. But if you guys have got any questions about what I've done, or if you've got any sort of more general questions, any questions about other techniques, that sort of thing, I'd be really happy to hear them. So I'm keeping an eye on the YouTube and on the Instagram, and let's see if anyone has been asking any questions. Or if anyone's got any questions which they feel like asking. Okay. Cool. So we've not had anything through from Instagram so far. I'll give you a couple more minutes if you're typing away furiously at some short essay which you want me to read to answer a question. But otherwise, all right. So I'm thinking probably there's no questions then. So I'm going to start to wrap it up. If you do have questions, you're really welcome. You could to send me a message. I'm Pi Beatbox on Instagram. You come and follow me. I think you can probably send messages through YouTube as well. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. And hopefully I'll see all of you guys again real soon. If there's stuff which you didn't really get and you want to have another practice, I'll be doing a very similar thing next week. And if you come on with a question next time, then so the whole of Portsmouth Football Club, Portsmouth FC, has commented on YouTube. Thanks for the intro. You're an inspiration. Fantastic. I'm really glad I could be helpful for you guys. And that's a really nice way for me to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully I'll see some of you again soon. I'll be doing the thing again exactly the same time next week, Tuesday, 9 o'clock UK time. Yeah, hopefully I will see you there. Much love, guys. In a bit.